going on, bubs? Today we're gonna be watching some Wolverine content. Now I'm trying to grow out my beard a little bit so I can shave it into a Wolverine thing. Now I don't got a lot of a mustache, but lucky for me, Wolverine doesn't have a mustache either. Now in case you can't tell, I'm on a little bit of a Wolverine obsession. Y'all might also be confused as to why I'm making a video when I've told some of you in person that hey, I might not be making a lot of videos. Let's just say it was a miscommunication with somebody. I can make videos. That's all that matters. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, I hope that looks good in post. But I love the power of editing. Anyway, let's just get right into the video, and actually watch it. Let's see how Wolverine's claws work. See how these bad boys work.
When he finally broke into the secret lab in the Nazi concentration camp, the professor uncovered a notebook that spoke of forced evolution, of mutation, and the creation of super soldiers. The professor took this idea like a black seed back to the United States government. After the success of Project Rebirth and the creation of Captain America, it was easy selling them on what he called Experiment X, the purpose to engineer a powerful and highly controllable team of mutant assassins to be used at the discretion of the CIA. They agreed, and the Black Seed took root. The subject, James Howlett, aka Logan, a mutant of Canadian origin born in the 19th century. But it was the subject's unique ability to heal that made Logan the ideal candidate for the adamantium bonding process. They poured hot metal over his bones, scrambled his mind in drugs and visuals and adrenaline, and turned him into an unstoppable killing machine. Here was the black seed grown into a red flower of violence. Here were the professor's dreams made flesh, but his long and dark quest for knowledge ended with one final lesson, this one written in blood and scrawled with 12 inches of metal-coated claw. Violence is uncontrollable. You cannot possibly contain an unstoppable killing machine. No one can contain the Wolverine.
Bro got some mad bedhead right there.
When you have a history of greatness, you keep dreaming and go beyond
Oh, there's no skip feature.
what's possible. The new 2024 Ridgeline
Wolverine is so
Passport
cool,
Pilot,
guys.
part of
He
our
is
most
so
rugged
cool.
trail sport lineup yet. From Honda.
I need to work on my grip strength though because these are really hard to swing. No. The last person got free advertisement. You don't. War, whatever video game you're trying to.
Welcome. Our subject today is Wolverine, and the experiment will be to draw the biological mechanisms that physically force his claws up out of his forearms. We're also going to talk about why we love Wolverine, how this guy went from just being some rando to being one of the most iconic Marvel superheroes ever, and the hugest acumen in Hollywood. And I'll also share with you another superhero who is actually even better than Wolverine in actually every way.
Is it going to be
I invented
the
him
Badger?
myself when I was 7. It's going to be good. Join me in this journey.
the Badger?
If you like Wolverine and you like art and you feel like you're learning something, then please don't forget to
Jay,
like,
put down in the
subscribe,
comment
and
section
ring the
right now
bell.
before you
Let's
actually-
stick together.
Jay, put down in the comment section below right now if you think this mystery hero is going to be Wolverine. Not Wolverine. We already are talking about Wolverine. This mystery hero is going to be the Badger. Put down in the comment section if you think it is or not. Who do you think this mystery hero is going to be? I think it's going to be the Badger. It's really hard to explain for those of you who are like, who the hell is the Badger? The Badger is this Jay was talking about, we were talking about Wolverine's physique and, like, you know, when we were at the gym yesterday, and, like, Jay mentioned, no, you know who's the coolest superhero? The Badger. I'm like, who? He's like, oh, just, you know, probably some small comic book company out there. That's my Jay Hampton impression right there. Well, there's probably some small comic book company. Probably some small comic book company. This is a good forearm workout. It's basically just... Oh, well, nope, now that it's bending the things, I should stop doing that because it's bending my metal claws. And if anything, I want the claws bent out this way. I don't want to break them, but at the same time, Wolverine's claw, like, you know, notice how these are like here? In the movies, Wolverine's claws are supposed to be out like this. Anyway.
Together, like adamantium and bone. You can be the adamantium. So I got this image in my mind of him reaching out with those claws, and I was going to show off part of his skull and his metal bones and the cutaway of his arms, all that. But this is not really working for me. It feels too complicated, like I'm trying to show off too much at once, and I'm not sure that this is going to be the best pose for showing off his claws, since they emerge from the top of his hand and I'm showing off the underside of his hand. So let's take a quick step back and think some things out. The purpose of today's piece is to show off how his claws work. Now, Wolverine's body is stocky, feral, very unlike, say, Vision. He has some extremely iconic characteristics that we need to remember going forward.
Cool.
His adamantium bones, his claws, obviously, his color scheme. I'd say his haircut, it's pretty iconic. His personality is grumpy, but also cool and feral, and I want to go with that feral energy. When I think feral, I think teeth. Okay, so keeping those things in mind, let's go back to the literal drawing board. Let's visualize what exactly happens when Wolverine extends his claws.
This is the guy that makes like the,
basic spatial awareness.
Yeah, this is the guy that makes. It is. I'm subscribing to you, man. Yeah, you make like these videos. Oh, that's so cool. You see, I've seen the videos where it's like you describe how the different aspects of the hero's work. Like the muscular system, like skeletal system. Like I just thought you made pictures, man. I didn't.
This dictates that the base of his claws need to start as close to the elbow as possible. That's how he can get the most, length sheathed up in there. Then I imagine they move up and proceed through some kind of very flexible, very tough cartilage-like sheaths, which is a hard word for me to say the way I can speak. And that these sheaths are very tough, and they proceed up through the wrist or between the hands, depending on what comic you're reading. And the muscle that pushes those claws can't be just one muscle, because Logan has demonstrated time and again that he can extend the claws in any combination he likes. So we need at least 3 muscles to drive the action. You might notice something else that's a little strange about this drawing that I'm making right now. I'm giving him 3 right arms so that the audience can see step by step what's going on when Wolverine does his snicked thing. The idea here is to show off his specialized claw muscles, the way they warp and deform as the claws emerge. With someone like Spider-Man, we might want to convey a sense of grace or flexibility. With something like this, we want sheer power, so the whole thing's much more like a punch or a jab. Getting that sense of driving action is going to be key to the success of this image. If we can get that feeling across, then I would say that we've succeeded in our mission.
These are so cool. I love them.
All right, I am liking this new thumbnail. I've given it a quick color treatment just to test out a few things and make sure that it'll hold together at a later stage. This early color wash can kind of give me a sense of the color scheme I'll be working with.
Hang on. I've heard that Wolverine snicks out his claws by sort of like tensing up the muscles. Gotta find a place to sit these. These are long and awkward. Sort of like he brings out his claws by tensing up his muscles, like the muscles in his knuckles. So it's like, like he tenses up that muscle and it shoots from the forearms, like that,
At that later stage. And it also helps me kind of break up this otherwise very confusing sketch into its component parts. We've left a lot to the imagination, especially where those 3 arms connect and interweave, but I think that's a problem I'll solve in the inking stage. As I start to lay down these lines, there are a few things going through my head. First, and most immediately, I am going to have to try to figure out how those 3 arms will blend together. The temptation here is just to fade between them, but after painting Vision with his innards just sort of floating out of his body, I'm feeling a little extra artistic and I want to do something unusual. I've decided that I'm going to knit the muscles of his arm together and make this into one single solid object. This is weird looking, I know, but weird things tend to get your attention. And I need weird if I'm going to have a maintained interest throughout the course of this project. It's a long book, and I gotta keep throwing myself curveballs if I'm gonna stay engaged. And that leads me to the second thing on my mind. As I dive into this book, I'm beginning to get a sense of just how deep this all goes.
Just realized, I'm gonna get a thumbnail here real fast. Just 2 seconds. That's all it'll take. Just 2 seconds. seconds. Oh, dang it, I can't. I guess I can. But what should the thumbnail be? Because I don't want to cover up my face too much. What should the thumbnail be, guys? It should be... Something like that. I kind of want to like face into the camera like I'm about to stab you. It's all bent now. Dang it! I messed it up. I'm gonna add Wolverine facial hair in post. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, no, I'm not. I don't know. Figure it out then. We are retaking that. God awful. Download. Save it as blah blah blah. Who cares? Save it as Academy. What was I have? College stuff, background, screenshots. Save it in screenshots. Okay, now we can get back to...
And I'm wondering what exactly I've gotten myself into. I've never illustrated a book before, and there are a lot of illustrations in this book. I can't make a video out of all of them, though if you like this content and you want to see more, please consider supporting me on Patreon. In fact, just getting through the art in the time I've got is going to be, honestly, one of the biggest professional challenges of my life. I have to imagine a specific character in a specific pose, at a specific angle, with an emphasis on specific things, and then I have to draw what I'm imagining again and again until I kind of get it right, and then I have to ink it and add detail, and after that I have to color, and I have to do that enough times to fill over 200 pages of a coffee table book. Can I do it? I don't know, but I've signed a legally binding document that says I'll do it, so it'll be fine. Honestly, I would be really stressed out right now if it wasn't for two things. One, I am having so much fun. And two, I'm really good about not thinking about tomorrow or what's required for tomorrow or deadlines of any kind. It's like my superpower. It makes me feel good to not have to think about things that make me feel sad. So I'm not gonna. But I will do something that I know will work, because I know that this works for everybody. If you focus on a project, a painting, a story, a piece of music, whatever, that you know is a little too big to chew in one sitting, just accept the fact that it's going to take longer than you expect. Let go of the pressure, put your head down, and commit to doing just a little bit every day. Not...
Okay, because that's a problem I have with my potential music stuff. I get a little overwhelmed that all the music stuff that I'm going to be making. So, okay, like I'm not medicated for my ADHD at all. Like for a while, I guess I was, and it was working for a little bit. But eventually I stopped, taking meds for that. So like my ADHD is like running wild all the time, constantly, nonstop. So here's my plan for the next few days. I think at this point I can honestly say that I've given up on the, I might react more to the Matt Pat, Five Nights at Freddy's lore thing, but for right now, I want to make videos when I want to make videos about what I want to make. Okay, that's the thing about YouTube, is that you gotta enjoy what you make. Again, fixing my hair is so hard. But I think that is something that I can make. I can make a few videos repeatedly in a row of um making music just a little bit at a time. And the thing is, what kind of genre do you guys want to hear? Do you guys want to hear rap? Do you guys want to hear pop? I guarantee I'm gonna be better with like, okay, maybe not pop, but I don't know. I'm not the best at rapping. I'm quite trash at freestyling. When I get into the flow, I am okay. Okay. I'm not good, I'm not bad, but when I get into the flow of freestyling, I am okay. My friend Russ, you've seen in a couple of the videos, he is mwah, magnifique. He's pretty great. But what kind of music genre do you want me to make? Do not say country. I am not gonna make country music. I do not like country music. No country music. I like a few country songs, but I don't like country music as a whole. I don't sit down and listen to the country radio station just all day. No, I will listen to a few songs. Like, there are a few country songs that I will listen to, but I am not making country music. That's not happening. No. But what kind of music genre do you want to hear from? And I know you guys are just like, come on, Bobby, when's the song gonna come out? I just explained to you why the song hasn't come out yet. Because this is a project that like is pretty big, and I get overwhelmed, and then I push it aside because I'm like, nope, that's too overwhelming. I can't handle that. I don't like that. But so put down in the comment section below what genre of music you want to hear me make music to. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna make some music a little bit at a time, a little bit. Okay, all right, let's get back to the video. So I should shut my door. I know I said I was gonna keep my door open, Ma and Dad, if you're gonna watch this video, but Elijah got home and he loud and he don't listen to a thing anyone says. People say quiet down, he says shut up. You know, I'm gonna shut my door. This is all I'm doing. Okay.
Every day will be a good and productive day. Doesn't matter. That's okay. In fact, bad days are a part of this process. Just make sure that you come back tomorrow and the day after that, and you do more every day. This is how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. But don't eat elephants. By the way, as I'm inking, I'm trying to keep a balance between the round bunching muscles and the thrust of those blades. To do this, I'm using curving lines to describe the thick, meaty muscles of the torso and the arm, and I'm using harder, longer, sharper lines for the claws and the forearm bones beneath them. I'm spending perhaps a bit too much time weaving together the muscles of his three arms. This is kind of silly of me because this isn't scientifically accurate at all in the first place, and I could spend way too much time noodling around with these fictional muscles. But that's where we are. I'm focusing on the interweaving threads of his anatomy, making those not just accurate-ish, but also attractive, and putting a special interest on the distinct muscles in his forearm. When his claws are retracted, those muscles ball up against the elbow, and the forearm bones, the radius and ulna, flex open to make a little bit more space. When his claws extend, those muscles...
Back up. Hold up. This is his wrist, correct? And with wrists, they can do this. We're all aware of that. So if his claw is sticking out here, wouldn't any movement of the wrist, like, peel through? Like if his three claws are here, any movement like that, wouldn't it just, like, rip through the... Oh, drop my claws. Wouldn't it just rip through the skin? Or, like, vice versa? If that makes sense. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to explain it. See, this makes a lot more sense because when his claws are out, like you see Wolverine doing this with his claws. So, see, this picture makes sense, but this one doesn't seem very scientifically accurate. Also, I overthink this kind of stuff way too much.
piston forward and the bones squeeze together to help keep them locked in their forward position. You may have also noticed one other little detail. I have peeled away half of Logan's face. Why did I do this? 2 reasons. 1, it's awesome. I really want to do that. It's fun, it's cool, and not many people can say that they've peeled Wolverine's face back off his skull and lived to talk about it. I'm also thrilled by the creative.
Man, I wish... I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous of people who can grow full beards, because I have a very patchy beard. Like that guy, he got some pretty cool beard. So if you're gonna make a Wolverine video, man, you should have like shaved like this part off. You should have shaved it into a Wolverine style beard. Man, what I wouldn't do for some facial hair that I can shape into Wolverine's sideburns. No, sideburns are like just up here. I think what he has is called a mutton chop. I'm not sure.
Face back off his skull and live to talk about it. I'm also thrilled by the creative freedom granted to me by this project. Honestly, this freedom is a huge reason I was drawn to illustrate Marvel's anatomy. This has never been done before. No one's ever made an anatomy book full of Marvel superheroes, and so that means that we get to define what such a thing looks like. I wanted to see Logan's skull. You wanted to see Logan's skull. Everybody wants to see Logan's skull. Let's show Logan's skull. But I do have a more compelling reason, one that I call reason number 2. And reason number 2 connects directly to the heart of why we love Wolverine. We'll cover that in just a moment. But for right now, let's transition from the inking to the coloring stage. Wolverine might be a very grumpy dude, but he does love one thing in this entire world more than anything, and that is this YouTube channel. So please, be like Logan. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do not miss another episode. If you're learning something or you want to tell me something like what you want to see next or who you want to see next, don't forget to leave a comment below. Remember, you are helping to shape this series. The first step of coloring is the most boring, blocking out the shapes and filling them in. This can be done without thinking pretty much, which is good because we need to think ahead to our color scheme. The colors I'm using at the moment are not accurate, but they don't have to be. This is digital art, and I can change those colors.
Brings me to another point. I'm sorry, I keep pausing the video, guys, but like you see how his hand is open there? If he activates the claws the way I think he does, by tensing up the muscles in like his forearm to like his knuckle, how would he be able to do it? Oh, that's how. You can still tense your muscles even when your hand's not balled into a fist. Never mind.
Later. Thank you, digital. So, classic Wolverine means yellow and blue and black. But because we're showing off muscles here, we also need red.
Sir, there's no easy way to say this.
Your wife isn't who she says she is.
I'm sorry?
She's your wife.
Now, red and blue and yellow, that's a lot of noise, a lot of really loud colors clamoring for your attention. But because the emphasis here is on the muscles, we will let the red bathe in the spotlight and will desaturate or weaken the yellow and the blue to make room for it. Next, I'll fill in the bones. While those muscles weave in and out, the bones are mostly powerful and straight, and they lead the eye up their length to the end of the claws, just like I want it. We've got a really nice synergy here between the bone color and the yellows of the suit. But, of course, I've forgotten one of the most iconic elements of Wolverine. His bones are covered in metal. I will remember that shortly, and I'll color correct. Before that happens, however, I'll dig down on those muscles and start lighting them. This is where the fun part, for me, really kicks in. I've put in all that hard work to describe these fluid, moving muscles, and now, with every red thread I add, they appear more and more real. I've added a layer that lets me see the painting in black and white. I can turn this on or off as I like, and it gives me a great sense of my levels, where things are clashing or blurring together. I also add in a paper background to give me a sense of what this will look like on toned paper. Again, this background is totally placeholder. I just grabbed it off the internet for now, and I'll make my own texture later, one that's better, has a higher resolution, etc. So, when I was just a little artist in elementary school or middle school, something like that, I can't remember, I invented my own superhero named Mantis. He was not actually Mantis-like in any way, he was more of a werewolf. Except he wasn't a werewolf, he was actually a machine, like the Terminator, inside the werewolf. So he was a Terminator inside of a werewolf, and he had 3 metal claws that came out of his wrists. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jonah, That sounds amazing, and like probably like the best superhero ever. And you're right, you're totally right. I'll let you in on a little secret. I invented him by combining some of the 3 coolest things in the world: Terminators, werewolves, and Wolverine. And as it turns out, those first 2 things I named have a lot in common with the reason why Wolverine is so amazing. Since he first appeared, he's been a fan favorite. He's the first hero to be a member of the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, which is basically like the EGOT of
He was a member of the Fantastic Four? What? I call myself a Marvel fan.
the superhero world.
Shame
He
on
first appeared in October 1974 when the vast majority of heroes were still righteous do-gooders. They fought for the little guy. They fought for justice. They were noble and upstanding. They were never mean. They didn't curse. They had chiseled jawlines and perfect cheekbones and excellent posture. They were the best of what humanity could offer, which meant that many of us could not relate. Well, enter Mr. Grumpy himself, the subject, James Howlett, aka Logan, aka Wolverine, one of the first true anti-heroes of the comic world. He's short, he's hairy, he's unhappy and unsociable, he's got flaws, and we love that. And when he flies into a rage, he becomes the embodiment of violence and destruction. Don't we all sort of wish deep down in some hidden place inside that we were capable of such righteous fury? When you get cut off in traffic, or someone spills beer on you at the bar, when some dude pushes your friend or says something inappropriate, don't you just want to get all in their face, muscles all popping out of your... Don't you just want to get in their face, your muscles all popping out of your tank top, claws out, call him bub, see what happens? I can't do that. I don't look that big in tank tops. I'm too nice. I'm not a tough guy, but sometimes, like everybody, I wish I could transform into the ultimate tough guy.
Which brings me to another point. Why is comic Wolverine got insane muscle? Of course, it's gonna relate back to gym, like part of, like, you know, working out and stuff. Why does comic book Wolverine have insanely big muscle mass? Well, not insanely big. He's no Incredible Hulk, but then again, there's no way you're gonna get Incredible Hulk's physique. But why is comic book Wolverine got way more muscle mass than Hugh Jackman in the movies? All I'm saying, movie Wolverine has more of an athletic physique. Comic book Wolverine's got more of a bodybuilder physique. I don't know. I mean...
This is why I'm showing his teeth. Because Wolverine is a mutant, yes, but he's, more importantly, an unstoppable half-wolf rage machine made of metal. And there's nothing cooler than that.
Your teeth are your bones. He's had metal grafted to his entire skeleton, but whenever he smiles in the movie, there's no, like, his teeth aren't silver. Did he not get metal grafted to his teeth?
Except for Mantis. Okay, we're done. Here's our thumbnail where we started out. Here it is with the color, really quick color pass. Here's the ink drawing. All those little lines that no one will ever look at or count, whatever. That's okay, that's my life. And here's the final piece of art. Not too shabby. All right, so something happened here. I'm gonna be ending on a little bit of a down note for me, not for you, you're fine. I saved this layered Photoshop image flat. So that means everything is on one layer, and if I need to make changes or edits of any kind, I can't without painting on top. That also means that I've bonded the image of Wolverine to the background, which was a temporary background, which I just took off the internet. I have kind of ruined my art. I can't believe I did that. Can't believe it. From now on, I'll be saving the Photoshop files in 2 separate locations. Take measures. This will never happen again. We will recover. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed today's video, then don't forget to like.
Okay. That was a cool video. He didn't really explain, like, the reason I chose this, because there was another video that I wanted to choose. Like, is there a locking mechanism? I don't know if the person who made this video is watching my video that I made, right? The one that you're watching now. I don't know if you made the video, but actually, anyone out there, all of my 130, which, yeah, I got up to 130. Thank you guys so much. But if there is anyone out there who has done the research on Wolverine, is there like a locking mechanism when he like pops out his claws? Is there a locking mechanism so that way like he's not always tensing up the muscle, so that way like in the fight, if he gets knocked, he has gotten knocked out in like a few fights, which is pretty hard to do, but like when Wolverine gets knocked out, his claws sort of retract back into his hand. So there is no locking mechanism, because if there was, it would have not, retracted back into his hand. Okay, I answered my own question. Very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I certainly enjoyed making this video. And as always, if you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, I don't really care. Don't dislike my video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an update. And, as per usual, stay wild, bub.